go rushing out of here when the bell rings. Don't be rude participants. We need your engagement. With that said, I'm bringing him on down. He's ready to do his thing. This is one of Mr. Warmkessel's. This is one of Mr. Warmkessel's boys. He walked the hall with me a little while ago, and he loved it. He loved it. First time visit, we went in Mr. Snyder's class. So, with that said, you all give a warm greeting to Mr. Kupalas, and he's going to hit you all with some information. Thanks for being here,
Thank
brother.
you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Class of 2020, what's up? I want to make this class the best class in history that Allen High School has ever had. What do you guys think about that? Right? We want them to remember your name, right? All right, so I graduated here a long time ago. I won't tell you guys my age. I put this picture up because I want you to understand something really important. You guys know who that is? That's Trent Shelton, Eric Thomas, Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank. That's my new whip. What do you guys think of that? You like that? Right? So I'm putting my Instagram page on here for you guys so that if you have something that you want to talk about afterwards, I don't know how to scroll this up. There we go. Feel free to message me, okay? I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself first. I have a couple of things I want to touch on before my partner gets in. So I was born in Allentown, Pennsylvania. I moved back to Greece when I was a kid. My parents were young. My mom had me at 16 years old. She was married at 14. And my grandma raised me. I was very fortunate to have the love of my grandmother because when I came back to America, I had a really abusive father. I don't know if any of you can relate with that, but he was very physically abusive. It was a really rough time in my life. I remember being 8 years old and my mom asked me if she could divorce my dad. And I said, no, Mom, please don't do that because I don't want to be the only kid in school without a dad. But then by 9 years old, after having black and blues for a school photo, I realized that, you know what, she asked me that question again, and I realized I had to have him out of my life. 2-3 years later, my mom remarries again, but this guy was an alcoholic. He was verbally abusive. The reason why I have that blue Porsche is not because I'm trying to be fancy, guys, but he called me a loser when I was 15 years old. He told me I would never amount to anything. To this day, those words still sting. But I've tried my whole entire life to utilize the pain in my life to get a prize for that pain. See, most people take that pain and they go backwards. I wasn't going to allow this man's words to define me because, number one, he didn't have in his life what I wanted. See, most people that are going to talk trash to you, they don't even have what you want. You wouldn't even want to trade places with those people. And they haven't even done what you're trying to do, but yet they're going to give you their opinion. They're going to be naysayers and haters and tell you that you can't do something. Listen, none of my friends that are doing amazing are crapping on my parade. None of them are putting me down. And that's why I have this photo, because you're an average of who you spend time with. So I got through high school. I came to Allen. I hated high school. I hated school. I got actually a C in public speaking, which is amazing because now I'm speaking all over the country. I also got a D in English, which is pretty amazing because I published 2 books. One's an autobiography and one's called The Takeover. It's a mind booster. In this book is all the skills that my partner and I have utilized, like standards, rituals, goal analysis, goal setting, who you hang out with, everything that we utilized to be able to get to where we're at today. So by 18, I decided to go to college. I dropped out. I went back to Greece, tried to figure myself out. My advice to you is at your age right now is explore a lot of different things. Don't settle, because life is probably the shortest thing, but it's also the longest thing you're ever going to do. And I'm going to tell you right now, you have a lot of time to figure yourself out. Don't allow the outside noise to tell you what you're going to become in life. There's going to be probably parents and teachers and people that are trying to influence you, but you got to follow your heart. You got to be happy. I know people with a lot of money that are miserable and other people with no money that are happy. Happiness is progression. I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't progress your entire life, school doesn't end when you come out of here. Life is a complete school. It's a lesson for the rest of your life. And progression is the key to happiness. So I went to college. I dropped out 23. I opened up a lawn business. I was reading a book. And as things come to me, I'm going to tell them to you. I read over 300 books in the last 5 years. I read 10 pages of a self-help book every single day, or I watch a video every day. I do it on the treadmill or on the bike because I don't have a lot of time. So every day, if I put 10 pages of a book in my mind, I've read 15 books a year. Started to read those books, started to change my mind. My mom had a book. It said the 100 top businesses to start in America. And I decided the only one I could do, the only one that I was smart enough for, the only one I could afford to do was a lawn business. I was making great money. I was 23 years old, making 35, 40K a year. My friends were still in school paying student loans. But 5 years into it, my thumb started swelling up. My back started hurting. I was actually a bodybuilder, believe it or not. The last time I stepped on here was in 2003. I won the Lehigh Valley Bodybuilding Championships and the state title. I was a state bodybuilding champion. I won it right here in Allen. 10 years to the day I graduated. There was no air conditioning back then. I remember that. So one of my goals was to become a bodybuilder, and I accomplished that goal. As time went on, by 28, I was burnt out. I started looking at other guys who were doing lawn care, and they were just beat. They were in their 60s, 70s, still cutting lawns for a living, no retirement plan. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. If you want to change your life, you got to change your life. So what did I do? I took the corporate America route. My mom had a day spa. She said, why don't you come and manage my day spa for me? I said, Mom, sure, I'll do it. I need something different. The problem with that is I got capped out. I could only make so much money a week. I created a couples retreat room, a kids spa, a hair salon. No matter what I did, she couldn't pay me anymore. And to make matters worse, in 2006, the recession hit. People were losing their jobs, losing their cars, losing their houses. People with master's degrees. I had friends of mine who had master's degrees that couldn't find work. My mom was 5 weeks behind on paying me. I couldn't pay my own rent. So what did I start doing? I started selling steroids. I thought, not a big deal. You know what? It's easy money. I'll do it on the side. Started selling steroids. 2008, one of my friends calls me and says, hey, can I come over and get some steroids from you? I was like, yeah, sure. Like another normal week, right? Guess what happened? He was busted by the cops, and he set me up. The next day, I had 13 DEA agents out my house with guns knocking on my door. Yeah, that's right. Damn. So you got to be careful here. He was one of my closest friends, too. Okay? But here's the thing, though. I forgive him because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here today. The crazy part is I thought my life was over. I remember putting a gun to my head at one point in my life and thinking, man, maybe I shouldn't be here no more. And I'm thinking back now, how crazy is that? My life right now is amazing. I'm so grateful to be here, by the way. I just want to say I want to thank all of you for being part of my life today. Give yourself a round of applause. Gratitude is the biggest gift. I wake up every day so thankful to be alive. I wake up every day picking at least 3 things to be grateful for. Today I'm grateful for the class of 2020 Allen High School. That's what I'm grateful for. I go to sleep grateful because somebody always has it worse than me. So what happened with that? I was waiting to go to court. My first offense, got lucky. First offense for possession and distribution of steroids was a misdemeanor, right? So the 2 years that I was waiting to go to court, I went to LTRC. I got an associate's degree. I showed up at court with all kinds of ribbons and honors and awards. I stayed out of trouble. I changed my entire life at that moment. I realized that this was a message from somebody to change my direction of my life. Next thing you know, I finished my degree. I'm looking for jobs. I got my associate's degree. Nothing's really clicking for me, though. See, I have a hard time when somebody tells me how much I'm worth. When somebody says to me, yeah, I'll give you $15 an hour, and I know I'm worth 30, that's really hard. That's a hard hit. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be times in life where you got to take that $15. But in the back of your mind, you got to know that you're worth more. And as long as listen, today is not important where you're at right now. It's important what direction you're headed to. What direction you're headed to. So check this out. So at 33 years old, I'm completely broke, no money in the account. I got arrested, moved back home. I'm driving a 97 pickup truck. I'm humiliated because the day before Thanksgiving, they threw me up on WFMZ for the arrest, right? 2011, I graduated college with honors. I got 26 straight A's at LTRC. I pulled up my report card. Thank you. I pulled up my report card here 2 weeks ago. Professor Wormcastle sent me my report card. There's a lot of F's in it, Alan. I won't share it with you guys. So long story short, I really didn't know what I was going to do. Here I am in my mid-30s. I'm thinking, what happened to my life? What happened to my life? And let me tell you about a study in 1979 at Harvard University. They studied, let's say, I don't know how many students it was. Let's say there's 1,000 students, and they studied them. And I'm going to ask you guys the same question they asked at Harvard. And just be honest. This is not a trick question, not to make anybody feel bad. But how many of you honestly have goals in the room? Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you actually have them written down, though, on you right now or on your phone somewhere, and you have a plan to execute those goals? Okay. Thank you for being honest. Here's what I'm going to tell you what they found out. This is really important. They followed those kids to a decade later. And what they found was that 87% of the room didn't have any written goals. Actually, it was, yes, 80, it was, let me just double check. It was 84% of the room did not have any written goals or any plans or nothing. 13% had written goals, but they didn't have a plan. Like they had them written down, like, yeah, I want to grow up and be, a movie star, but they didn't actually have a plan of how they're going to bridge that gap from A to B. And then 3% actually had them written down, and they had a plan. There was about 3% of you that actually raised your hand and actually said, I have them written down and I have a plan. So 10 years later, they come back to find these students, and guess what they found? The 13% who actually had goals written down but not planned were making 2 times the money and were happier, more fulfilled individuals than the whole entire 84%. But the 3% that raised their hand, that had their goals written down and had an actual plan of action, a blueprint, right? A blueprint. You got to find a couple things when you're going for this. You got to find somebody who's already done what you've done. Leech onto that person because they already did it. Success leaves clues, and so does failure, right? Those 3% actually had 10 times the income than the entire 97% of the other students. So I'm going to urge you, when you leave here today, to not only write your goals down, but make a plan. Guys, I ended up becoming a self-made millionaire at 38 years old. I'm 44 today. I know I look good. Thank you. Appreciate that. No, I'm just kidding. That's good living. It's good living, guys. Okay, I take care of myself. But I became a self-made millionaire at 38 years old. I was on WFMZ yesterday. I was interviewed. I was on WFMZ interviewed 2 years ago. Today, I own 35 rental properties in Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton, and Wescoville. I have a credit repair company that services 120 new clients to fix their credit, 2 published books. I am a 7-figure earner in the network marketing industry. I also own Evolve Apparel. So if you've seen this logo, it's my clothing brand. I wish I would have had somebody tell me what I'm telling you today when I was your age, because I wouldn't have waited till I was 38 years old to figure out who the hell I am. I'm 44 now. I got maybe 30 years to live if I'm lucky. And when I drive by those cemeteries, next time you drive by a cemetery, do me a favor. Look at those dates on those tombstones. You're going to notice 3 things. The day they were born. Everybody right now, you know your date on that tombstone. It's the day you were born. The second date we don't know. The fact that I don't know that second date makes me hustle my ass off. And that dash in the middle, when I look at that dash, you know what I see? My entire life is that dash. When you're gone one day and somebody drives by and sees your name, that little line, that little hyphen is your whole entire life. What is your life going to be about? What did you regret? You know what I regret still to this day? And maybe some of the teachers might be able to help me. Has Allen High School ever won a football championship since 1993? Okay, guess who was supposed to be Coach Snizak's starting linebacker? I was. And guess what I did? I quit. I was at music festival with my boys. Like, when are you coming back to practice? You haven't been there all week. Coach Snizak said, you're the starting linebacker. You need to come back and do after practice. I'm like, what's after practice? He goes, you have to run laps. I said, hell no, I ain't doing no laps. I'm not a runner. And guess what? I wasn't willing to put the work in. I was lazy. And to this day, I regret it because every couple years, they have a reunion. Hobgood Chittick, who broke my ankle in 9th grade playing here, who was an NFL football player, who passed away, rest in peace, he went on to the NFL. I quit, and I screwed up my life for many years. I can never get that year back. I remember J. Bernie Crum Stadium, which I think might be Andre Reed now. I remember standing there and watching my whole team win a championship. And I was on the bench. And to this day, I cannot believe I gave up because I had problems at home. We all have problems, guys. And let me tell you 2 more things before I bring up my partner. The problems you have today, I promise you, will not matter 5, 10, 15 years from now. If I could give anything to go back to 12th grade and do that, I would have done it. So please do me a favor. If there's something you're contemplating about quitting or not doing, see it through. And lastly, I want to talk to you about one quick thing. Who wants 20 bucks? Oh, wow, look at that. Okay. So, hold on a second. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be in detention after this. Read my back of my shirt. Just saying. So, guys, real quick, I know a lot of you are probably going through some challenges. I went through abuse when I was your age and verbal abuse. Man, it sucked going to school, having my dad call me a loser. I'm going to urge you in the morning to drown that out. The first 20 minutes of your day, put something positive on. Drown out all that BS. But this $20, you guys all want it, right? Let me ask you a question. No, here's a question for you. Who still wants it? Why? What's it worth? Still? It's still 20 bucks? Okay, hold on a second. No, hold on. There's no way. Hold on a second. All right, who wants it now? Well, how much is it worth? 20? All right, one more time. Hold on a second. I don't like green. I don't like paper. You're a loser. Who still wants it? Damn, it's still worth 20? All right, here's what I'm trying to teach you. Your value will never change. Don't allow life punching you in the face. Don't allow failures, which are part of the journey, and don't ever allow anyone in your life to tell you that you can't do something. Because every single one of you were born out of a great moment. When your mom gave birth to you, it was out of greatness. You have greatness inside you because you were born in a great moment. Pull that greatness out. Don't allow your mind to entertain average, mediocre, and assumptions of limiting beliefs. I want to thank you guys. I'm going to bring my partner up. 2020, baby. This is the class, baby. Let's do it.